My dear sister, my dear brother, listen to me with your full heart for a moment. There is a mistake many couples make right after the marriage contract, and it is so small that people laugh at it, yet it is so powerful that it can quietly rebuild a marriage that feels dead. If you catch it early, you will thank me later because it will change your whole perspective. If you ignore it, you may spend years chasing happiness in big things while your home keeps bleeding from tiny cuts. And here is the fear of missing out. Because if you are not applying this, another couple will, and their home will become calm, their love will deepen, their children will feel safer, and they will wonder why everyone else is struggling with the same arguments. Do not be the one who hears this message and says, I wish I acted sooner. Before I go further, I want you to do something for the sake of Allah, and also to help this message reach a sister who is crying quietly and thinks her pain is normal. Comment, I love Allah right now. Do it even if you are strong, even if your marriage is fine. Do it as a sign that you want our Almighty Creator to place mercy in homes, because some hearts will read your comment and feel less alone. And stay with me, because one point near the end will shock you, not because it is complicated, but because you will realize you have been doing the opposite your whole life without noticing. The one thing couples forget after the marriage contract is not romance, it is not gifts, it is not vacations, it is not even the big speeches. The one thing they forget is mercy in the small daily actions, mercy in the tone, mercy in the look on your face, mercy in how you enter the home, mercy in how you respond when you are tired, mercy in what you choose to overlook, mercy in how you speak when you are angry, mercy in how you ask for your rights without crushing the other person, mercy in how you give the other person dignity even when you feel hurt. People think mercy is a feeling, but mercy is also a practice. It is a decision you repeat many times a day. And the reason this message can change your life is because you do not need money to do this. You do not need perfect circumstances. You do not need a perfect spouse. You need a heart that fears Allah and a tongue that remembers that your spouse is not your enemy. When two people are newly married, they often try hard in the beginning. They dress well, they speak softly, they forgive quickly, they are patient because everything feels new. Then life comes, bills, family pressure, children, work stress, sleepless nights, expectations, and slowly, the small daily mercies disappear. Not in one day, but in tiny steps. A greeting becomes cold, a smile becomes rare, the gentle words become commands, the jokes become sarcasm, the advice becomes criticism, the privacy becomes public complaints, the gratitude becomes entitlement. Then people say love is gone. But love did not disappear like magic. Love was starved, and the food of love is mercy in small actions. I want you to imagine something simple. Imagine you are carrying a glass of water. If someone keeps shaking your hand lightly all day, you will spill. Not because you are weak, but because the shaking never stops. That is what many marriages become. Not one big disaster, but constant small harshness, constant small disrespect, constant small dismissing, constant small neglect. And then when the glass finally spills, people are shocked. They say, why are you so sensitive? Why are you crying? But the truth is, the heart has been shaken for months and years. Now listen carefully. If small harshness can destroy a marriage, then small mercy can rebuild it. This is the secret many couples overlook. And it is why those who apply it become emotionally rich. Rich in peace, rich in safety, rich in warmth, rich in blessing. And people around them will wonder what is different about their home. Mercy begins with how you see your spouse in your mind. Many people look at their spouse through a microscope of flaws. Every mistake becomes evidence. Every weakness becomes a weapon. Every delay becomes disrespect. Every tired moment becomes a personal attack. But a heart that wants mercy looks for excuses. It says, maybe my spouse is tired. Maybe something is bothering them. Maybe they are struggling silently. Mercy is not being naive. Mercy is refusing to make the worst interpretation your default. Because when you assume the worst, your tone changes, your face changes, your words become sharp, and your spouse feels unsafe. Once a spouse feels unsafe, they stop opening up. Once they stop opening up, you lose the friendship. And when you lose the friendship, you keep only the contract. That is not the life Allah wants for you. So I want you to start with something that seems too small to matter. The greeting. When you enter the home, enter with peace. Enter like you are bringing calm, not bringing tension. Many people enter with a complaint already loaded. Why is this not done? Why is food late? Why is the house messy? Why did you not reply? But the home is supposed to be a place of rest. When you enter, you are either adding to the weight or lifting it. Mercy is to lift it. You can still talk about problems, but you choose the right time and the right tone. You do not turn the first minute into a battlefield. You bring peace first, then you bring solutions. And do you know what happens when you do this consistently? Something deep changes. Your spouse starts waiting for you with hope, not fear. Your spouse starts associating your presence with safety, not pressure. Your children start feeling that the home is stable, not unpredictable. This is why I am saying do not miss out. Because the couples who master this do not just have fewer fights, they have a different emotional climate. And the climate of a home shapes the minds of everyone living inside it. Now let me pull you into the next point smoothly, because this is where many marriages die quietly. It is the daily language. Some people speak to strangers with more kindness than they speak to their spouse. They say please and thank you outside, and at home they speak like a boss speaks to an employee. Bring this message close to your heart. Your spouse is not your servant. Your spouse is your companion. Your spouse is a trust from Allah. And your words are not just sounds, your words are seeds. You plant them daily. Either you plant mercy and you harvest love, or you plant harshness and you harvest distance. Start using soft words again, not fake, not dramatic, simple. How was your day? I appreciate you. Are you okay? Thank you for what you did. I noticed your effort. I missed you. May Allah reward you. These words are not weakness. These words are strength. They show you are not controlled by ego. Ego is what destroys homes. Ego hates to apologize. Ego hates to say thank you. Ego hates to admit wrong. Ego hates to be gentle when it feels powerful. But the believer is not a slave of ego. The believer is a slave of Allah. And when you serve Allah, you learn to defeat ego. Now some people will say, but my spouse is not like that. My spouse is not speak gently. My spouse is rude. My spouse is cold. My spouse does not appreciate. My spouse does not change. Listen to me carefully. If you wait for perfect conditions, you will wait until you are old. Start with what you can control. You cannot control your own tongue. And when you change your tone, you change the atmosphere. Sometimes your spouse will soften slowly. Sometimes they will resist at first because they are used to conflict. But keep your sincerity and keep your boundaries. Mercy does not mean you accept harm. Mercy means you keep your character clean while you seek solutions. Now we move to something even more practical, because if you apply it, it will feel like you unlocked a hidden door. Mercy is in noticing the small things before they become big resentments. A wife often carries invisible burdens. A husband often carries invisible burdens. One is carrying emotional labor, remembering details, managing children, managing family relationships. The other is carrying financial pressure, feeling responsible, feeling judged, feeling fear of failure. Both can be exhausted and both can feel unappreciated. So mercy is not only saying kind words, mercy is small acts that say, I see you, I am with you, you are not alone. It can be as small as taking a plate to the sink without being asked. It can be as small as filling water for your spouse. It can be as small as texting during the day, are you okay? It can be as small as letting your spouse rest for a while. It can be as small as helping with the children for 20 minutes so your spouse can breathe. It can be as small as listening without correcting. These are daily mercies. And when they become habits, they build a wall of protection around the marriage. Then when a storm comes, The marriage does not collapse easily. Now I want to guide you to a deeper layer, because many people misunderstand what mercy looks like in conflict. They think mercy means no arguments. No, normal couples disagree. Mercy means you disagree without destroying dignity. Mercy means you correct without humiliating. Mercy means you express pain without becoming cruel. Mercy means you do not drag the past into every argument. Mercy means you do not use threats. Mercy means you do not use silent punishment. Mercy means you do not insult. Mercy means you do not expose private matters. Mercy means you keep the fight about the issue, not about the worth of the person. When anger rises, your soul is being tested. Anger is not only an emotion, it is a moment where the devil whispers, say it, hit them with that sentence, mention their weakness, make them feel small, and if you do, you will win the moment and lose the marriage. Mercy is to pause. Mercy is to lower the voice. Mercy is to step away if needed. Mercy is to say, I am upset, but I do not want to hurt you. This one sentence can protect years of love. And here is the life-changing part. If you start practicing mercy in conflict, your marriage can become a training ground for paradise, because you are learning to control the self for Allah. Now let me take you to another point that hooks into this perfectly, because many marriages are not destroyed by big sins. They are destroyed by constant small disrespect. Disrespect is like acid. It eats away trust. It eats away attraction. It eats away friendship. And the scariest part is that people normalize it. They say, this is just how we talk. This is just jokes. This is just our culture. But your heart knows. When sarcasm lands, it hurts. When mockery becomes normal, love feels unsafe. When eye-rolling becomes a habit, the spouse feels rejected. When constant criticism becomes daily, the spouse feels never enough. Mercy is to stop these tiny acids. You may say, but I speak like this because I am hurt, I am angry, I am tired. Yes, and that is why this message matters. Because mercy is not only for good days, mercy is for the days you are tested. On good days, everyone can be polite. On hard days, your true character appears. Mercy is to refuse to make your spouse pay for your stress. Mercy is to protect your home from the poison of your mood. Now I want to gently bring you to a point that many people avoid because it requires humility. Mercy is apology. I know, many people hate this word. They think apologizing makes them small. They think apologizing gives power to the other. They think apologizing means they were wrong in everything. No, apology is strength. Apology is honesty. Apology is accountability. Apology is repair. When you apologize quickly, you remove a thorn before it becomes an infection. And do you know what happens when a spouse hears a sincere apology? Their heart softens. Their defenses drop. They feel respected. They feel safe. That safety brings love back. I want you to imagine a home where both husband and wife can say, I am sorry, forgive me. I did not mean to hurt you. I will try again. That home becomes a home of mercy. It becomes a home where mistakes do not become permanent wounds. And this is not just emotional advice. This is spiritual. Because Allah loves those who return and correct. When you practice repentance with Allah, you learn to practice apology with people. And when you practice apology with your spouse, you create an environment where growth is possible. Now let us move to something that will feel surprisingly powerful. Mercy is gratitude. People underestimate gratitude. They think it is just manners. No, gratitude is medicine. It heals resentment. It heals entitlement. It heals boredom. It heals the feeling that I deserve more. When you express gratitude, you water the good in your spouse. When you ignore the good, it dries. And then you complain there is no good. But you stopped watering it. Mercy is to notice the effort. Even if your spouse is not perfect, find what they do right and speak it. Not once a month, daily. And you will see a transformation. A husband who hears gratitude feels respected. A wife who hears gratitude feels valued. And when people feel respected and valued, they naturally become more generous. They become more patient. They become more affectionate. This is why gratitude can change your life. It changes your spouse and it changes you. The heart that thanks is a heart that is lighter. The heart that only complains is a heart that becomes heavy. Now you might be thinking, but what if my spouse really is failing? What if there is real neglect? What if there is real injustice? Listen to me carefully. Mercy is not denial. Mercy is not pretending everything is fine. Mercy is not accepting oppression. Our Almighty Creator does not command you to stay in harm, but mercy is how you seek change. Mercy is choosing wisdom over chaos. You can be firm without being cruel. You can set boundaries without becoming abusive. You can protect yourself without exposing private matters to the whole world. This is where some people make a dangerous mistake. When pain is high, they run to the public, they post, they talk to everyone, they turn their spouse into a villain in front of relatives and friends. They invite gossip, they invite judgment. And even if later the marriage improves, the damage in the community remains. Mercy is to keep your private life private. If you need help, you speak to one trustworthy person who fears Allah, someone who will not spread your secrets, someone who will be just, someone who will guide you, not inflame you. Because some people do not want you to heal. They want entertainment, they want drama. Protect your dignity, protect your spouse from public humiliation, even when you are hurt. And if you are in danger, you seek help immediately. Safety comes first. Mercy includes protecting life and protecting the soul. Now I want to connect this to another daily action that couples forget, and this one is deeply spiritual. Mercy is to make space for worship in the home without using religion as a weapon. Some spouses preach at the other, but they do not show gentleness. They quote, but they do not comfort. They command, but they do not serve. This is not wisdom. The best teaching is character. When your spouse sees you controlling anger, being kind, being fair, being patient, being forgiving, then your reminders enter their heart. But when you remind with harshness, it becomes noise. So bring worship into the home with softness. Encourage prayer with kindness. Encourage remembrance of Allah with warmth. Make supplication for your spouse, not only against them. Ask Allah to heal what you cannot heal. And let me tell you something that will change the way you see your spouse. When you make supplication for someone, your heart becomes softer toward them. You start wanting their goodness. You stop seeing them only as the person who annoyed you. You start seeing them as a soul that also wants peace. And even if you must set boundaries, you do it with clarity, not hatred. This is mercy. Now we move to something very practical, and it may be the point that shocks you, because you will realize how common the opposite is. Mercy is privacy. Many couples destroy love by exposing small issues to family and friends. They say it is just venting. They say, I just needed someone. But venting without wisdom poisons the mind. It makes you see your spouse through a negative story. It creates allies against your spouse. It makes reconciliation harder. Mercy is to protect the honor of the one you share a home with. If you must seek advice, seek it with discretion. Speak to someone wise. Speak to someone who will aim for healing. Do not speak to someone who already hates men or already hates women. Do not speak to someone who will add fire. Speak to someone who will bring water. Now listen, because the next point is where many people are doing things wrong their whole life. Mercy is to stop keeping score. This is the shocking part for many. They count everything. I did this, you did not do that. I sacrificed, you owe me. I helped, you never help. I gave, you never give. The marriage becomes a business deal with receipts. But love does not grow in a marketplace. Love grows in generosity. Love grows in overlooking. Love grows in giving without always demanding credit. This does not mean you accept exploitation. No. It means you do not treat every act as a transaction. The moment you keep score, you stop giving from the heart. And the moment you stop giving from the heart, the other person feels it. They feel pressured. They feel judged. They feel like they can never win. Mercy is to give what you can for Allah and to ask for your needs with kindness. When both spouses do this, the home becomes light. When one spouse does it alone, it becomes hard, so that spouse must also set wise boundaries and seek counsel. But the principle remains: stop turning every day into a courtroom. Now I want to bring you gently into another layer that heals many marriages. Mercy is to understand the love language of your spouse. Some people show love through service, some through words, some through time, some through gifts, some through touch. If you are giving love in the way you like, but your spouse receives love differently, both of you feel unloved. So mercy is to learn how your spouse feels cared for, not what you assume, but what actually reaches their heart. This is not psychology alone, it is wisdom. Because wisdom is giving the right thing in the right way. Ask your spouse, what makes you feel valued? What makes you feel safe? What makes you feel loved? And listen, do not argue with their answer. Some people are shocked by how simple the answer is. It might be a few minutes of attention with no phone. It might be kind words in the morning. It might be a small hug when they return home. It might be help with a chore. It might be reassurance. And when you start doing that consistently, you will see a change that feels like a miracle. Not because you changed your entire life, but because you started practicing mercy in small daily actions. Now let me connect this to something spiritual again, because if you miss it, you will miss out on a level of blessing that others will enjoy. Mercy is to renew intention. Many couples do good things, but they do them with bitterness. They do them to prove a point. They do them to be praised. They do them to win arguments later. This intention poisons the act. Renew your intention. Say, I am doing this for Allah. I am being gentle for Allah. I am being patient for Allah. I am forgiving for Allah. When you do this, even if your spouse does not appreciate, you are still rewarded, and that reward brings light into your heart. That light changes your mood. That mood changes your home. Now we come to a sensitive point, and I will say it with care, because some people are suffering in silence. Mercy is not letting harm become normal. If your home has humiliation, threats, fear, control, or constant intimidation, do not call that normal. Disagreement is normal. Mistakes are normal. But crushing dignity is not normal. Mercy includes protecting life, protecting mental well-being, protecting children from trauma. So seek help with wisdom. Do not delay if you are in danger. Do not wait for a tragedy to wake you up. Protect yourself and seek support through trusted people and through proper services. And if the marriage can be repaired, repair it with guidance. If it cannot, then fear Allah and do what is safest and most just. Allah does not love oppression. Now I want to bring us back to the heart of this message, because I do not want you to feel hopeless. I want you to feel empowered. Mercy in small daily actions is not a theory. It is a daily practice. It is a smile that says you matter. It is a gentle word that says, I respect you. It is patience when you are provoked. It is silence when a harsh reply would destroy the night. It is forgiveness when the ego wants revenge. It is privacy when anger wants exposure. It is help when laziness wants comfort. It is gratitude when entitlement wants complaint. It is supplication when despair wants bitterness. It is a warm greeting when the world already gives your spouse enough coldness. And here is the beautiful part. When you practice mercy, you teach your children without speeches. They learn what love looks like. They learn what respect looks like. They learn what faith looks like inside a home. And one day they will either repeat your pattern or they will heal from your pattern. Give them mercy as a gift. It will be a charity that continues. Now, let me speak to the one who feels, I have tried and nothing changes. I hear you. Sometimes you are the only one trying. That is painful. But do not let pain turn you into someone you are not. Keep your character, keep your dignity, keep your boundaries. Seek wise counsel, seek support, make supplication, and keep doing what is right for Allah. Sometimes Allah opens doors in ways you never expected. Sometimes a spouse changes after one sincere conversation. Sometimes they change after a trusted elder intervenes. Sometimes they change after they fear losing you. Sometimes Allah gives you strength to make hard decisions, but either way, mercy will protect your soul. You will not become toxic because you lived with toxicity. You will not become cruel because you were treated badly. You will not lose yourself, and that is a victory. Now, my dear sister and brother, do not let this message pass like entertainment. Apply it and thank me later. Start today with one small mercy, not 10. One. Choose one action you can repeat daily. A warm greeting, a thank you, a soft tone, a small help, a sincere apology, a moment of listening. If you do this consistently for 30 days, you will feel a shift. You will feel it, and the home will feel it. This is how big change is made, through small daily actions. And let me create that fear of missing out again, because it is real. Some people will hear this and move on. They will stay in the same cycle, same fights, same coldness, same sadness, same loneliness while living together, and years will pass. Then they will say, we grew apart. But others will hear this and they will act today. Their home will become calmer. Their children will smile more. Their hearts will feel lighter. Their love will return in simple ways. They will wonder why they ever thought love had to be complicated. Do not be the one who misses out on that. So I want to end with a call that is not just emotional, but spiritual. Comment, I love Allah, to show support to the channel and to push this message to more hearts. Then comment one line about your situation, what you are facing. And also comment the way out you are choosing, even if it is small, even if it is just. I will start speaking gently, or I will stop sarcasm, or I will seek counseling, or I will set boundaries, or I will make supplication daily. When you share, you help another sister, another brother who thought they were alone, and make supplication for one another, because a community that supports each other for Allah becomes a community that heals. Do not delay. Do not say tomorrow. This message can change your life if you move now. And if you apply it with sincerity, you will look back and say, I wish I started earlier. May Allah place love and mercy in your home, protect you from harm, guide you to wisdom, and make your marriage a path to paradise.